No, certainly didn't, because he was firing it, but he's been playing quite a bit of golf this week, and we can see him there just feeling what obviously is a slightly tender spot.
It's the best of 3 sets. The winner will take away $122,500 US dollars and 260 ranking points. The runner-up, $64,500 and 183 ranking points. Kucera, incidentally, win or lose, will move back into the top 10, which could affect Tim Henman. Ivanisevic, win or lose, will move from 16 to 14, which is important, because, of course, the seedings for the US Open will be based on the rankings that come out tomorrow. And if he'd been 15 or 16, he had a 50% chance of being drawn in the same quarter as Sampras. Either that or the same section of the draw as Rios. Now, he might have fancied playing Rios in the last 16, but I don't think he would have fancied Sampras in the last 16. But as the 14th seed, Ivanisevic is clearly going to avoid Sampras, at least for a little longer.
Now, Kucera's got to do a bit more with this second serve return. He's been pushing them back too slowly. You'd like to see a few more of those, wouldn't we all? If you're playing Ivanisevic or people who serve like him. Lost his opening serve yesterday, having won the toss, Ivanisevic, but didn't lose any other thereafter.
Not surprisingly, Goran leading the aces number for the week, 47 to Kucera's 25, and also leading it for the year, 713 aces so far this year. Make that 714 aces so far this year. Ivanisevic holds in the opening game of the final. Stadium. This holds some 15,000, so there are not a few more people in. Slightly strange time of the day, I suppose, to play it, so a 1 p.m. start. And, I suppose lacking the American interest. But it's against the trend, because the audiences in North America in this hard court season have been pretty good, and the TV ratings have been pretty good, which is encouraging. Because tennis has really been struggling on the TV ratings in North America over the last couple of years.
Yes, it might well have a lot to do with Agassi rebounding. Certainly made many of the headlines.
Of course, he's in the final in Indianapolis today. Alex Kucera. Of course, beat Greg Rosetsky in the quarters in Indianapolis. Kucera starts with a love service game.
Yeah, it's not exactly blistering serving, but it is a department of his game. I think you mentioned 25 aces this week. Now, in the past, Kucera's never been able to register those sort of totals at all, but it's much improved. In fact, last year he's one of those players who served more double faults than aces all year long. I think we'll find at the end of this year that that's the department of Kucera's game that would have been much improved. He's always had terrific ground strokes. Silky forehand, I think.
Yes, and as you were saying, a very solid year. Winner in Sydney, runner-up Stuttgart, semi-finalist Australian, Antwerp, Hamburg, Amsterdam, quarter-finalist in Battersea and Umag. Second ace, but then, of course, you would have expected him to do well in Battersea because he's had a home there for many years. It's Kucera. It's an overall from Steve Ulrich, I think. So Ivanisevic answers Kucera's love service game with one of his own. And we're on serve at the start of the final in New Haven.
The 11th Grand Prix meeting of the season from Lausanne in Switzerland. Superb athletes in a magical location. In last year's 100 metres, 8 of the sprinters were 10-second breakers, and the world's fastest will be there again this year to astonish the world's most accurate timekeepers.
The Athletics IAAF Grand Prix from Lausanne, Tuesday, 2000 CET, 7 UK, live on Eurosport.
With Isostar, the fast-acting isotonic sports drink.
It's enough to make you dizzy. In pursuit of the Track Cycling World Championships, the speed and the spills. It's a study in aerodynamics. Or not. The Power Peddlers in a spin. On the track that's seen 5 world records. The Track Cycling World Championships from Bordeaux. From Wednesday, 10 and 1700 CET, that's 9 and 4 UK time, live on Eurosport.
Welcome back. You're watching Eurosport's live coverage of the final from New Haven, Connecticut. 2 more warm-up tournaments next week in Boston and Long Island. Kucera's playing Boston, Ivanisevic playing Long Island.
Yes, Kucera's going to face another left-hander in Boston, Jeff Taranga. Imagine having played Ivanisevic one day and then Taranga, and then in the first round in Boston, he'll be hitting his ground strokes twice on the return of serve. So much time. Taranga nowhere near the speed that Ivanisevic has.
Here's Steve Ulrich, who comes from the Tampa Bay area of Florida, the Gulf Coast. Married to a French official, Anne Lasserre. And a first ace from Kucera. Of course, it's coached by Miroslav Širiš, the former Olympic champion from 1988. first point against the Kucera serve.
Very high ball toss. Just lofting that one up, almost tempting Ivanisevic to have a go. Saw quite a few fairly lengthy rallies between Ivanisevic and Kafelnikov yesterday.
Not making his mark on the service return at the moment, Kucera.
He and Rios really amongst the best, and Agassi's crept up to join them amongst the best at returning the first serve. People like Chang and Bjorkman have dropped behind just a little bit.
Yes, it's strange how Jonas Bjorkman is really struggling this year. Did so well last. Chang's demise a little more understandable, a lot of injury problems, and also we were saying in Hanover last year, weren't we? Well, looks as if the old legs are running out of a bit of steam.
Yes, I think that can be applied to Thomas Muster as well, although he played brilliantly against Henman, but just not able to sustain that form.
So 3 love service games already in this match. 2 of them now to Ivanisevic. 3-2.
The last chance for real sunshine before the autumn in Turkey. On the breathtaking beaches of the Mediterranean. In the treasured groves of Istanbul. On a tour taking you through 10 millennia. The vacation you've always dreamed of in Turkey, now at especially low prices. Welcome, my friends, in Turkey.
The battle of the sexes is about to be fought on Earth. Use these 2. This time, the terror is multiplied.
Now the fun begins.
Enter the Eurosport Species 2 competition for the chance to go howling and prowling in an all-expenses-paid weekend trip to Amsterdam.
This is like some sort of damn freak show.
Who starred in the original Species, Forrest Whitaker or Forrest Gump?
Estrogen levels peaking.
For the chance to win, call the Eurosport hotline number.
We've got 2 aliens running around, and if these 2 were to mate, the resulting pure strain of offspring would be unstoppable.
Species 2.
Goran Ivanisevic leading 3-2. Incidentally, we'll have Jennifer Capriati watching on, of course, here for the women's event, which gets underway tomorrow. And we'll have coverage of the final of Long Island for you a week tomorrow, a week on Monday. Our colleague Simon Reed.
Well, a brilliant guided missile by Ivanisevic. Surprised really that Kucera didn't go cross-court with this, tried to angle it. In fact, got no angle at all. But a super final shot from Ivanisevic. good depth on the serve. It's not so much power, but see that, 14 miles an hour.
Just good, says Steve Ulrich to Goran Ivanisevic, and needless to say Goran is working on that. How just is just.
Well, one might say that Kucera was the better ground stroker, but Ivanisevic, as I mentioned earlier, wouldn't mind taking him on. I think he fancies himself a bit better than Kucera at football, mind you.
Great supporter of Hajduk Split is Goran Ivanisevic. Stage last season there was a lot of talk if he was going to turn out for them in a local derby, but he never did. Slovan Bratislava, I suppose, would be the team for Karol Kucera. Certainly where he was born, Bratislava, but maybe as a Battersea man, he's be a Chelsea supporter, I suppose, or these days a Charlton Athletic supporter, top of the Premier League. Now, that's something for the folks down in South London to cheer about.
Well, and stole in rather well there, did Ivanisevic. That lower angle on the court gave us a good idea just how high the court does bounce. And of course, one way of negating that is by getting in.
It's the first really telling return against the first serve. That one well.
Yes, he's 7-2 against left-handers this year. Here's Kucera. He's lost to just Korda and Greg Rosetsky.
No breaks to serve so far. 4-3 Ivanisevic.
Acclaimed novels of our time.
What went on out there in that bay?
Easily one of the best films of the year.
I'll stand by you. Was I right to bring her here away from what's familiar?
Is Robert Redford's The Horse Whisperer.
You do whatever you have to do to hold on.
A moving, heartfelt epic, an unforgettable love story.
I never expected to feel this way again.
Robert Redford, Kristen Scott Thomas, The Horse Whisperer.
Right on cue, Karol Kucera gets off his seat. Confirmation of the head-to-head record between these two. So it's their first meeting this year. There's a slight contradiction in terms. The only meeting when it says 2-1. I think they meant to say last meeting. Posh word for a contradiction in terms, an oxymoron, is it, or something?
I think it is, yes. Ivanisevic doing so much better with that faster serve, ball keeping a little low than he had done with the previous one. The crowd, of course, were suggesting that it was a double, the first point from Kucera.
Both men now have produced 2 love service games. So far, not a break point, indeed not a deuce. So 8 games played in about 21 minutes.
Yes, very satisfactory really from Kucera's point of view as far as the serving's concerned, but naturally would like to have made a few inroads on the Ivanisevic serve. Only the first game where he's won the 2 points, and one of them was a double. Perhaps he's on his way.
Saving himself for the sharp end of the set, of course. Too quick for the line judge.
Certainly too quick for umpire Ulrich.
30 miles an hour, I'm going to go with the linesman. But he couldn't see the board. He was doing like this. That's what we got to go with. We got to go with him.
I don't blame him for taking evasive action, because that's one of the problems. You've got to make your move, make the call.
Saying that he's found the mark. In the replay, I have even more sympathy than I did before, but he's not going to get it changed. Second serve.
That won't please him. I thought after second serve we were going to say, remember, it is at New Haven. Sometimes get the impression that Ivanisevic might forget where he is sometimes.
Oh, my word. And of course it's all the fault of Steve Ulrich that it's love 40.
This will certainly remind him. He may well wish he's back on the Adriatic Sea at the moment, Ivanisevic.
He went sailing after Wimbledon. There's Miroslav Masic, who we were talking about. A man who, when faced with troubles in life, disappeared and went fishing. He's probably nipped down to the ocean, just a couple of miles away. Oh my word, well, was it going in, was it going out? Made the right old hash of it. Racket goes flying, Ivanisevic loses his serve.
Eurosport invites you to escape with Hertz by entering this competition. What's the name of the NASA launch site in Florida, USA? Cape Horn, Cape of Good Hope, or Cape Canaveral? You could be the lucky winner of a fortnight's holiday for 2 in Florida, flying with Virgin, staying in a Marriott hotel with free Hertz car rental. And that's not all. Each week you could drive away with one of our 8 free weekend car rentals. So call the Eurosport hotline now, and good luck.
From Suzuka in Japan, round 6 of the FIA GT Championship. Exceptional cars, exceptional speeds, over an exceptional distance. 1,000 kilometers instead of the usual 500. Porsche have been chasing Mercedes all season, but desperate as they are, they can't seem to catch those silver arrows. They'll be hoping the extra distance will be Mercedes' undoing. The FIA GT Championship, Sunday evening at 2100 CET, 8 UK on Eurosport.
Plenty for Ivanisevic to ponder, but he's got to say to himself, well, I had a bad call in the opening game yesterday, or at least I thought I had a bad call. I lost my serve, yet I came out and won the next 4 games. If he does that, of course he'll win this set. But he does have to break back immediately. 5-4, Kucera serving for the opening set.
Well, Kucera used to find it very difficult to wrap up a set. Of course, that propensity to serve double faults really handicapped him in the past. He's got rid of some of those emotions. But you see, he really badly missed the first serve in the first point. And there again, all over the place. Ivanisevic really disgusted, I think, as much with the fact that Kucera just slipped the second serve in. It was very, very close to the line. He took pace off that, just 97 miles an hour, but essentially got it in.
Two set points.
Just impeccable length on that forehand, because Ivanisevic had really rammed the return of serve.
Kucera's first double. He had his serving problems in his time with Shesh. I remember watching him serve underarm at the French Open. Oh, and a huge forehand from Ivanisevic. And the second set point is saved.
Yes, just a little bit of tightness, and here Kucera trying to lob this one to get it to bounce very high. But of course, Ivanisevic is tall, and he's got this long left-handed swing at the ball. He could get over it pretty well. Kucera was waiting for it. He had his roller skates on once. Ivanisevic shaped to hit the forehand.
set point for a third time. Oh. I've never heard of a code violation for abuse of your shirt.
He's looking for extra ventilation.
A bit hot and sticky. Doesn't say too much for the quality of the cloth, I would suggest.
You'll have to Mr. Takini ringing you up.
Yes. The female members of the crowd are not too disappointed. But most importantly, Kucera isn't, because he's got the first set in 32 minutes.
It's like Superman of old, who used to get out of his street clothes to put on his cape.
Second set. Second double. Interesting that RCA should sponsor the speed gun here, because they're of course the sponsors in Indianapolis. No, that's really well played by Kucera. Not an easy volley at all.
Absolutely brilliant rally, because he kept such good length, and then this fine cross-court forehand of Ivanisevic. Really loves to hook it, of course, when he's on the run, and it is such a fiery shot. Brilliant bit of volley.
Two doubles in this game, and here's a real opportunity for Kucera. It's a very fine volley. Decisive. Reminds me of some of Patrick Rafter's sort of in-to-out forehand volleys.
Yes, and it can lapse too, so given the situation, that's a particularly good one. Well, it was the high bouncing ball from Ivanisevic that prevented Kucera from steering it onto the Croat's double-hander. Gave him a bit more time to run around it.
Oh, that's a magnificent shot again. Right onto the sidelines, and a third break point for Kucera.
Well, again, Kucera demonstrating his ability to get the serve back. And it was only because it landed a bit short, he had to make his move quickly, so Ivanisevic saw him move. into a far better rhythm now, darting and diving one way and the other to retrieve the serve.
Well, superbly guessed by Ivanisevic.
Yes, wouldn't Kucera like this one again? You might well ask Ivanisevic here if that was just about the right height for him, but terrific instincts from Ivanisevic. Down 1 minute and up the next. Two-handed volley too.
And he comes up with an ace to hold after being 3 break points down.
Contract killer.
A little overtime.
This is the girl?
No, it's your mammy.
There has been an unauthorized kidnapping. Continue.
Get him!
Well, you can't tell about those roll, shorty, that I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Let's work.
Condos on the shore, multi-million
From the team that brought you Broken Arrow and Face Off, a big hit.
What's up with you guys? You supposed to be the Spice Boys or something?
Well, that's a real opportunity. Squandered would be unfair because Ivanisevic, apart from on one of the break points, was always dominating the rallies, but still an opportunity lost by Kucera because setting a break up against Goran, you can never tell what sort of a mood Goran is in. He could hoist the white flag a little early. On other days, he'll fight to the last.
Yes, that's for sure. And I think he too has a thing about the States sometimes. He's never really done well in the US Open, even if he's just a semi-finalist once in '96. Sometimes the place, the crowd just get a little on top of him. So if Kucera had done that by winning that opening serve, he may well have rethought some of those earlier impressions. Strange because his father actually came over here when Ivanisevic was a kid and worked with an electricity company and just outside of New York. Ivanisevic spent some of those early days in the New York area.
Oh, we could just see a swing here. Kucera, having had those chances to break, now really in trouble on serve for the first time.
Now that's where he's so much better this year, Kucera. Getting that angle serve, but getting it in, good angle, fairly good pace.
Look down who the crowd wants to win this match. At least the majority of them. Well, he can look really foolish when he plays that shot sometimes, and on other occasions he can look quite sublime.
Yes, particularly backing it up, the drop shot with a terrific lob volley. Never an easy shot to play. Sure, not even bothering to chase.
And for the first time in the match, Ivanisevic with a break point.
Well, he was trying it. I think it's the right shot because he's tried it only twice, the high loopy one. And each time he's ended up being able to play a big forehand on the next shot because Kucera can't control it as well.
There from Kucera. The smoothness you expect from the Slovak normally. And a second chance for Ivanisevic. And it's conceded by Kucera's second double fault. Kucera could so easily have broken at the start of this set, instead loses his serve, and it's a whole different ball game.
A little unlucky because Kucera does get particularly tight at those stages, and the ball boy was just out of position, just held him up between first and second serve, not really what he wanted.
Up to 6.
Just wonder what's going through his mind, because I think it was what a lucky player Kucera was, because he really didn't deserve to score with the single-handed backhand. Unusual shot that he played.
Yes, they're friends again now, Mr. Ivanisevic in the net.
Somebody up there finally likes him.
These would go down as most people's prodigal sons, wouldn't they?
Is really dominating proceedings. Big point, yeah.
Ivanisevic comes up with a big shot on it. Oh, well, Steve Hilrook said...
Yeah, I think he's overruled.
He called wide, he called long, but it was just wide. What did he call? He called wide. So why did you say correct? He said correct. Who? He did. He?
Seldom a dull moment with Goran on the court.
Go to the cinema.
So it's a second serve at 40-30. That's a fourth double.
Yeah, so both of them, when delayed between first and second, have come up with doubles. This shows it does shore up your rhythm.
Picked his spot perfectly there, Kucera. Watch how he keeps the ball so wide of Ivanisevic. It only comes within the parameters of the court at the very end. Seventh place.
Retrieving and using the same ball. Not this time. Get rid of it.
They reach a third deuce, making this the longest game of the match so far.
Not a good error, because he wasn't even trying to force it that much, Ivanisevic. He actually looped it a fair amount.
Now then, the chance for the Slovak break point and second serve. Oh my word. So 3 doubles in that game from Ivanisevic, and Kucera is handed the break of serve back.
Eurosport invites you to escape with Hertz by entering this competition. What's the name of the NASA launch site in Florida, USA? Cape Horn, Cape of Good Hope, or Cape Canaveral? You could be the lucky winner of a fortnight's holiday for 2 in Florida, flying with Virgin, staying in a Marriott hotel with free Hertz car rental. And that's not all. Each week you could drive away with one of our 8 free weekend car rentals. So call the Eurosport hotline now, and good luck.
UEFA Cup action on Eurosport as Rotor Volgograd of Russia take on Red Star Belgrade of Yugoslavia. Red Star won the first leg 2-1. You can see the second leg at 5 UK live. Rangers travel to Greece to meet PAOK Saloniki. Rangers lead 2-0 on aggregate. See the second leg at 9:15 UK. Watch it with the winning team on Tuesday on Eurosport.
Eugen Dest, the trainer, on.
We're going to play.
Too sure what the problem was, but nothing too serious, because Karol Kucera not asking for a timeout, not asking for a 3-minute injury timeout.
He did have a big toe problem, I remember, in Hamburg earlier this year, but it's a long while back.
Painful things, big toes. I'm having an ingrowing toenail in my big toe. That was painful. That chopped out. There's Jürgen Dess, the ATP Tour trainers.
Almost psychological, didn't it? Soothing advice.
I don't think Mr. Ivanisevic is too soothed at the moment.
No.
He's sort of cauldron stakes bubbling up nicely.
The white marks left by the shoes on the court. These courts have all recently been resurfaced, repainted, ready for 2 successive weeks of tennis. Which makes them reasonably slow.
Second ace from Kucera, and he completes the comeback. And, with his third love service game of the match, and he's recovered from 2 love in this set. Current rankings, they're all going to change again because Marcelo Rios is going to lose the number 1. Tim Henman may drop out of the top 10, but then so may Jonas Bjorkman. It's all very complicated.
Much better return. I was really surprised the way Kucera played the return on the previous point. Really has got a lovely forehand. Makes the maximum use of the racket here. There's very little spin in it.
An 8th ace. Where he looks awful when he goes for that shot.
Well, he's got to come up with at least one of those, a missed one, I mean. He's already played one very good one. But one missed one a match is certainly a trademark. In fact, it's probably about 3 or 4 a match is more his trademark.
But at least Ivanisevic manages to hold and stops the rot, having lost the 2 previous games. 3-2.
What will happen on the 1st of January 2002? On the 1st of January 2002, the Euro notes and coins will be issued.
The 11th Grand Prix meeting of the season from Lausanne in Switzerland. Superb athletes in a magical location. In last year's 100 metres, 8 of the sprinters were 10-second breakers, and the world's fastest will be there again this year to astonish the world's most accurate timekeepers.
The Athletics IAAF Grand Prix from Lausanne, Tuesday, 2000 CET, 7 UK, live on Eurosport.
With Isostar, the fast-acting isotonic sports drink.
You're watching Eurosport's live coverage of the final of the Pilot Pen International in New Haven, Connecticut. We're on the campus of Yale University. Are you a Harvard or Yale man?
What, in my support?
Yes.
I certainly didn't go to either of them.
No.
I suppose if I had to choose, it'd be Harvard. I think Harvard's the oldest. Yale's about the third oldest university in the States.
Yes, it's not quite the same as Oxford and Cambridge. I suppose over here, everyone, when you're a kid, you're either Oxford or Cambridge. The boat race, and nicely rugby match and so on. I was always Oxford until they refused to let me in their universities. They said I've been staunchly for Cambridge. 2-3. Well, he hasn't made many sorties to the net, Kucera, but he's displayed some lovely touch on the volleys when he has. Just one poor high backhander volley that I remember, but other than that, pretty good.
Yale was named after an Elihu Yale, a Bostonian. Odd sort of name.
Yes. Why is he naming Yale? I mean, obviously we're not that far from Boston, but of course Harvard is just on the outskirts of Boston in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Yes, he was, according to my records, a governor of Fort St. George in Madras, too, so I don't know what the connection is with this part of the world.
He must have got around a bit. He hit sneakily.
Yes, an appropriate term because, of course, the Americans call tennis shoes sneakers. I was thinking earlier that Ivanisevic's problem prior to Wimbledon this year was that his serve had gone off, particularly his second serve. And although he's put it right, it was in the game, in fact, where he ended up serving all those doubles. I was just about to say he has put it right, and then, lo and behold, he came up with all the doubles. Not much you can do about that. You get advantage of the two hands on the racket with those sort of serves.
As we saw there, not so easy to control it with just the one. So an hour gone. Actually, according to my stopwatch, I only make it 59 minutes, but there we are. Maybe mine's losing time.
He hasn't fared badly in these extended rallies, Ivanisevic. When you look at Kucera's record at the French, he's never got past the third round. Lost this year to Todd Woodbridge. So he doesn't have a lot of patience, really. I think one can deduce.
That was in the first round, wasn't it, to
yes.
Toddy? Well, strikes were played. And after the exchange of breaks at the start of this set, we've now settled down. Games going with serve. 4-3, Ivanisevic leads.
What
do you see? What you see is a car that offers the ultimate in drivability and dependability. What you see is a car that not only looks better, but has a body armor that lasts. What you see is a car whose every detail is checked to ensure it's as reliable as it is ingenious. And what you see is a car that is as economically beautiful as it is beautiful to behold. What you see is a Hyundai. So prepare to want one.
It's not raining. The weather's up for shade. Possibilities of considerably bad weather at this part of the world at the end of the week. The first hurricane of the season, just gathering momentum off the Bahamas, and even some talk of it making its way all the way up the eastern seaboard of the United States. Remember, there was a hurricane once during the US Open, wasn't there?
Yes, I think they've had a few during the Open.
US Open starting a week tomorrow.
What it usually does, of course, is clear the air, and you have some terrific weather immediately following it. Then the humidity builds up again.
Oh my word. Do you think he took his eye off the ball, Fred?
He certainly had a huge open space, didn't he? He is, I think, sometimes very often better on the run on that forehand. More likely to get the feet timing right.
So I get the impression from replay that he was rather looking at the open space rather than concentrating on hitting the ball. That's really good. The percentage of points won behind second serve for Kucera. That's terrific. Smooth again that time, the Slovak. Not hurried at all, just taking his time, finding the right slot. What's that now? 4 love service games for him, Fred?
Yes, it is. Just the 2 from Ivanisevic.
Seven doubles and 6 of them in this set. Nine aces now.
He just makes things a little difficult for himself, does Ivanisevic, because you don't have to be a genius to realize that the crowd are supporting him. Therefore, no real reason to get rattled just because he serves the occasional double. Shot may well rattle him.
Yes, now this is by far the biggest point of the match so far. 4-all second set, 30-all. Oh my word. 3 doubles when he last lost his serve, Ivanisevic.
Well, I suppose really Kucera had to make his move. He may have been a bit wiser, as it turned out, to fake moving across to his right. But he couldn't really turn. He was hell for leather bent.
That's fine play from Ivanisevic.
Well, he's broken up Kucera's baseline game quite a bit with these advances to the net. Just gives him no time sometimes.
And the last time Goran held serve after being break point down, he went on to break in the next game. If he can do that now, it'll be 1 set all, 5-4.
What is the euro? The euro is the name of the European currency.
The 11th Grand Prix meeting of the season from Lausanne in Switzerland. Superb athletes in a magical location. In last year's 100 metres, 8 of the sprinters were 10-second breakers, and the world's fastest will be there again this year to astonish the world's most accurate timekeepers.
The Athletics IAAF Grand Prix from Lausanne, Tuesday, 2000 CET, 7 UK, live on Eurosport.
With Isostar, the fast-acting isotonic sports drink.
He could have been in deep trouble, Ivanisevic. Those double faults opening the door for Kucera, but unable to take advantage. Figure of Ross Adams just to the right of your screen. Doyen of American tennis photographers.
A Boston man himself.
I wonder if he'll be in Boston next week. He does a lot of work for the USTA, so he may already have to be there in New York, perhaps photographing the players, the qualifiers as they turn up.
Yes, it's only about 70 miles from New York here in New Haven.
Just a couple of years ago, I was actually here the weekend before the US Open. They had a women's exhibition event on, which is now being replaced by a full WTA Tour event. Terrific rally. Such a shame it ended on an error. Just to complete the story, the tournament very kindly laid on buses for players and media at the end of the tournament to get us all down to Manhattan on that Sunday night. A steely eye, but decided it wasn't worth a code violation.
Yes, I think Barbara Potter did some work at that event as well.
She did, yeah.
She finished up her degree here at Yale.
My word, I thought that was out. How about that one?
Well, this is the problem, of course. The crowd, I think, are virtually seeing things Ivanisevic's way very often. Sometimes they've got it right, but I think mostly it's a little one-sided. Because Kucera is pretty unknown here. He's lost first round both last year to Spady and the year before to Gardenzi.
I would have thought that beating Sampras in the Grand Slam might have brought him to the attention of some Americans, but Australia's a long way away. Happens in the middle of the night.
Make a good Hamlet, wouldn't he?
I always think more of the Three Witches in Act 1, Scene 1 of Macbeth. He's brewing up a few spells, hubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Double figures in the aces department. Oh, have I missed one through?
Yes, I think they've got it right.
Fingers again. Well, that's magnificent. He has made some fabulous returns on the stretch.
Yeah, it's really nothing much wrong with his serve at all. That's been the interesting aspect of the match for me. A lot of second serves from Ivanisevic, but Kucera really doesn't seem to try and really get stuck into them. He's content to lob the ball back.
So that's 12 aces. All agreed on that. Ivanisevic leads 6-5 on serve, second set. Thinking of the US Open through, it's wide open this year, isn't it? There's no one in fabulous form going into it. I mean, Patrick Rafter would say, well, hey, I've won the two big warm-up events. And yes, I know I lost early here to Guillaume Roux. But Sampras, very in and out. Rios really struggling on the hard-court season, the split from his coach. You could put 6 or 7 names in the hat. I think he might have a shout.
Yes, I think we were saying that before Wimbledon, but of course the difference between Wimbledon and here, where the same is being said, is that Wimbledon really, you're only likely to find the winner amongst a handful of players, and Sampras was always likely really to show his mettle at Wimbledon, given the fact that grass is a special animal. But there's no doubt that Sampras isn't in the finest form. Rafter, I would say, is the form horse, with probably Agassi actually not all that far behind. But Chang's not outstanding. Korda, I don't think is going to be a real factor. I would doubt. I mean, it's a good opportunity for Ivanisevic, but I just can't see him surviving 7 rounds of the US Open. He's going to be muttering. Here he is in the final and playing really not badly, and yet he's been non-stop muttering. Now the New York crowd's going to get onto him for that. So it does make it the US Open pretty fascinating.
So for the second time, Kucera serving to stay in the set, trying to force the tie break.
15 minutes.
3 or 4? The old mass is giving up on me.
No wonder Oxford wouldn't have you.
Interesting, Goran is walking. Hasn't continued to walk there.
And certainly didn't concede the point either.
Just a little tentative on some of these points now, Kucera, and suddenly Ivanisevic with set point.
Well, that's where the improvement in Kucera's game is so obvious. Not the pace of Ivanisevic, but still by Kucera's standards of old, a terrific serve.
Second set point.
That would have really encouraged Ivanisevic just to keep these rallies going. Loop the ball back.
He's got him. Well, extraordinary rally. I suspect the longest of the tournament, let alone of the match. And Ivanisevic levels at 1-all.
Yes, a 31 on the, or lost on the 37th stroke of the rally. Kucera eventually just losing a little bit of patience. Who can blame him? Coming in on the one-handed approach just gave Ivanisevic that little bit of time.
So after an hour and 22 minutes, we go into a third and final set.
Really letting it rip now, Ivanisevic. Certainly no signs of tiredness.
Yes, big serving indeed. And Goran rips his way through the opening game with the decider. And a man of moods. Well, right now his mood will be pretty buoyant, I would have thought.
Yes, really not ideal. Naturally, he'd like to win in 2 sets, but I think he's proved that he can take Kucera on at the rallying game. And as we've pointed out, Kucera is a man really not renowned for lengthy rallies. So I wouldn't put him in the Spanish category of baseliners. He likes to get on with the game a little bit, likes to finish off rallies, and because he can volley pretty well, as we've seen, he likes to shorten those rallies somewhat by coming in. Initially, as we've seen here, you might say, well, if Ivanisevic is winning all the long rallies, why did he take such a terrific chance on the forehand early on in this last game? Well, he'll play like that, of course. He's not going to deny himself the massive power that he's got in his forehand, where he can win some of the rallies behind that shot as well. So it's going to be a mixture initially of Ivanisevic going for the shots, going for the forehand, trying to dictate the rallies more. But when it comes to crucial points, that's when he well may say to Kucera, well, you've got to go out and win this one. I'm just going to be the defense, the Berlin Wall. I'm not going to make any errors. You've got to try and fashion the point somehow, fashion a winning shot.
Kucera to serve, love one, final set. Very important to feel that that's the 2 that Goran has on his back. It's important for Kucera to stay with Ivanisevic in this early stage of the third set, because Goran is the sort of guy who, if he gets on a roll, he's very difficult to stop. At least because the points can suddenly get very short. Whistle 2 or 3 aces past you. 6. Good game for Kucera, and it's 1-all in the third.
Yes, Ivanisevic really virtually conceding the game, I think. Take a bit of a breather, come up for air. And of course, it's one of the great luxuries if you've got his sort of serving capacity that you can just forget about tennis every now and again for a game here and a game there.
Different type of serve that time. Slower to kick, rearing up high at the head. Love game for Ivanisevic. His third of the match, first since the first set. These games go with serve at the start of this third and final set in New Haven.
How many countries took part in the '98 Football World Cup? 11, 17 or 32? Eurosport gives you the chance to win the Football World Cup official match ball by entering this competition. Each week, 10 Adidas equipment tricolor match balls must be won. Call now. And good luck.
UEFA Cup action on Eurosport as Road to Volgograd of Russia take on Red Star Belgrade of Yugoslavia. Red Star won the first leg 2-1. You can see the second leg at 5 UK live. The Rangers travel to Greece to meet PAOK Saloniki. Rangers lead 2-0 on aggregate. See the second leg at 9:15 UK. Watch it with the winning team on Tuesday on Eurosport.
Welcome back. Karol Kucera at one stage had a point to break, which would have left him serving for the title. Chance slipped away, and now he'll serve with new balls. 1-2 down, final set.
Seemed to have itchy feet before he served. Maybe he's going to be climbing into the ball a bit more in this set. Not get into these long rallies.
Sideline.
Ivanisevic using his Jimmy Connors type return. Really hitting flat out. Pretty flat racket head.
Once again, this man who wins the long rally.
turned out to be a tricky one. He realized it was going to fall short, but it didn't bounce up high, so he really couldn't get stuck into it. It dropping here, so that when he played it was just about net high.
No chances to break in the opening 4 games of the final set.
Mention of Jimmy Connors just now as we look at Coach Macias. Connors this year was admitted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame, along with Herman David, posthumously former chairman of the All England Club and very much a mover in getting open tennis organised at Wimbledon and getting open tennis to get going.
The gentleman alongside me was inducted into the Tennis Hall of Fame at Newport, Rhode Island quite a few years back with Bob Hewitt.
You're not getting up there on your trip to New England?
No, probably not this time.
It's well worth a visit, not only because of the lovely houses in Newport, but the Hall of Fame is an outstanding museum.
And you think if you didn't score, you would score more? Well, that's not the point.
Yes, I've been in Newport, Rhode Island a few years back. Stunning natural harbour, isn't it? Of course, for many years the America's Cup races were based out of there, the yachting centre. Smart quite so much now. 9 doubles.
Yes, again that delay leads to a double, but really brings it on himself sometimes. Most times.
Oh, and now an overrule. Now what's he going to do? Is he going to give Kucera the point? Yep, he's given Kucera the point. I think he was right.
Yes, I'm surprised Ivanisevic is taking it.
No, this was late. I keep a clear winner, he is a clear winner, and what is the difference? This ball was past you. It passed my head.
Well, it probably was past that part of his anatomy as well. Maybe a mutiny in the ranks of the crowns now.
Love 40. Oh, yes. Really felt that there Kucera had the chance.
Yes, an astonishing volley, really. Perhaps quite hit it low enough, Kucera, but it wasn't a bad forehand.
Oh dear. Well, the double faults have hurt Ivanisevic throughout the match, and they've certainly hurt him now. As Kucera moves up a break, 3-2, final set.
Who won the Tour de France? For the 1998 Tour de France, Eurosport is giving away lots of presents. Mountain bikes, plus superb Eurosport key rings and caps. Let yourself go. Call now. And good luck. It's enough to make you dizzy. In pursuit of the Track Cycling World Championships, the speed and the spills. It's a study in aerodynamics. Or not. The Power Peddlers in a spin. On the track that's seen 5 world records. The Track Cycling World Championships from Bordeaux. From Wednesday, 10 and 1700 CET, that's 9 and 4 UK time, live on Eurosport.
Oh, he looks pretty impassive, old Milo. Shish, the coach of Karol Kucera, who's coming out to serve 3-2 up now in the final set, obviously with that break of serve.
Ivanisevic at the change of ends was pretty controlled. Thought he might have a lot to say down by Ulrich, verbally or with racket.
Remarkable how many times this man has been drawn into longer rallies and then lost them.
Yes, and a good example of how quick Ivanisevic was to get himself back into position once he'd been drawn out there. Lightning quick onto the forehand and immediately back into the center of the court.
Didn't notice any holes in his racket, the ones that are supposed to be there.
Maybe one of the squares is a little bit bigger than the others. Sort of thing that sometimes Ivanisevic can get really embarrassed about, really almost become self-conscious. I remember him in Rome having that sort of problem.
And a 7th ace from Kucera. Emphasises the break. Slovak has a handy final set lead. Suddenly, the Kucera returns really function, but interested in Ivanisevic's attitude now. He's beginning to saunter into the net.
I think he adopts, at a stage like this, a pretty fatalistic attitude. And of course, with his massive serving, he so often gets away with it.
15 aces.
Aye, aye.
Needs to be fatalistic right now. That lands well in. And Kucera has 2 points for the double break. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for a huge second serve here. No, he didn't, but again, rather sauntered forward, as if he has accepted his fate, which is disappointing, because having battled his way back so well in the second set, to let it fall away tamely in the third is a shame. But Kucera with 2 breaks of serve now in his pocket. Seems to have the match in his pocket.
Well, the ideal situation really for Kucera, because with Ivanisevic's game, there's nothing better than to get that second break of serve. And as you say, Ivanisevic really so often leads to his own downfall. He gets a bee in his bonnet, and of course a lot of it has to do with the umpires and decisions. And suddenly feels that, well, things may go my way, taking that fatalistic approach, but if they don't, so what? It's not all my fault, it's the umpire's fault. And it's one of the reasons why he's never won here in the States.
That was why you were able to accept defeat with such great equanimity when I was umpiring your match.
Yes. Mistake after mistake, but I took it well.
It's impressive, isn't it, for Karol Kucera? This is his first hard-court match in this particular part of the season. He was playing in Amsterdam last week, but well earlier. Starting the Australian, or starting in Sydney and the Australian. Serving for the title here. Will be his 4th career title. If he pulls it off, first one on grass courts in Rosmalen. And then, of course, Strava towards the end of last year, indoor carpet, and Sydney at the start of this year.
Final, incidentally, between Leroux and O'Brien. Alex O'Brien always does so well here in New Haven against Arthurs and Tremacki. Surprise winners over Kafelnikov, Vacek. O'Brien beaten Woodbridge and Woodford.
Yes, and Arthurs and Tremacki beat Bukati and Pays earlier on in the tournament as well. They've had a great week, but it looks as if the man who's going to have the best week of all is Karol Kucera. 2 championship points. And that's it. Well, it's a shame that it ended so tamely, because at 2-all in the final set, it seemed so perfectly poised.
Yes, it is a shame, because nice to see the warm congratulations there from Ivanisevic, not to the umpire, though, necessarily, but the crowd, I think, had their part to play. They almost encouraged Ivanisevic and forgot about poor old Kucera. We may hear from him at the US Open.
Indeed, so it'll be Ian Pocock with Sports Centre next, then the sports cars. But our next tournament tennis on Eurosport is the final of Long Island a week tomorrow. That will be with Simon Reed from Prue McMillan and myself, David.
He finally has got a bit of a problem with his Achilles, but not too severe. We're after to begin.